I'm Susannah.
And I'm Sarah, and this is our podcast, Silent Matters. Hi, and welcome back to Silent Matters. So we've got myself, as always, Sarah Jane from SJ Personnel, and we've got Susannah Allbone.
Hi again.
Welcome, and we've got the most incredible guest today, so we're so excited. She's actually one of my very dear friends as well, so I'm so excited to have Gail Asbell here from Upstate. I don't know whether everyone knows much about Upstate or what it's about, but I'll get Gail to go into a bit of detail about what her business is about. But today we're going to talk about business growth and how we grow, how businesses grow during a volatile time, and also how to manage work-life balance. So as a small business or any size business, how do you actually manage business and family and not burn out at the top either? So I'll pass over to Gail so we can get an understanding of who she is and what she's about. Then we'll delve into some questions.
Welcome, Gail.
Thanks, guys. Very happy to be here. And First off, big congrats to Sarah and Sus on this podcast. Awesome to see two business women getting out into a new media and, really helping to talk about businesses and how they handle HR and all those sort of silent matters that sometimes are under the rug. So congrats to you guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
So I am the co-founder of Upstate, and we're a group of Pilates, yoga and boxing studios. I've got 7 locations at the moment and a team of 150. We've just recently taken on capital and are expanding nationally. So super
exciting.
Pumped about that.
Yeah, wow, that's huge, massive. So it'd be great to share and give some inspiration to small businesses, like where the journey began and how did you actually get to this point? Like people have this, inspiration to become these amazing businesses, but it doesn't happen overnight. So
And you do have so much competition, and yet you seem to be this powerhouse that has just grown and grown, and we will get to the point where we want to talk about how you, and everyone is absolutely done with COVID, but your biggest success story probably came out of COVID. Is that correct? I mean, we won't go down that path yet, but, talk us through how you went from Studio 1 to Studio 7.
Yeah, look, no overnight success story. It has been 13 years. We grew slowly, I guess, to begin with, studio by studio. Just investing and into the next location kind of thing. For us, we've always been a really mission-driven business. So my background was in marketing, and my sister and I have the business together. And we actually started Upstate after the loss of our brother and our father, who passed away quite close together, very unexpectedly. And for us, we found, our mission is all about creating a positive state of mind through movement. And regardless of whether you did yoga, Pilates or boxing, we just found both personally this sense of positivity whenever we did something physically with our bodies, whenever we moved, challenged ourselves, sweated it out, we always felt better. And so we built this business because we really felt passionately about the impact that movement can make in people's lives. And so I think for us, having such a personal reason for starting the business and really leaning into the mission of the business has been just a massive part of our growth. We've grown because we're just so passionate about it. And I think in those times of like COVID, when there was so much fear and anxiety, we lent so heavily into that mission in that point in time. Like in those first few days of COVID, we were in the customer service emails. Our members would not realise Sherelle and I jump into all parts of the business still now, and reading through these emails of people that were going through really challenging times, people that lost their jobs, all these emails coming through from members about challenges they were having. And for us, we were like, this is the time now. We need to over-deliver. We need to help people. If ever we need to help them, it's right now. And I think it was just an example of focusing so much on how we could deliver to our members, to our team. We'd worked really hard to build this team, and straight away we had said to them, no one's going to lose their job, even though a lot of our staff worked in the operations of the business, studio coordinators, physical spaces that were closed. We really strongly said to them, no one is going to lose their jobs. We're going to just keep growing through this time. Wow. Deep down, not knowing how.
How did you guarantee that? That's a huge.
I think we just could see that people still needed.
They needed a leader, and they needed a leader.
Yeah, and I think that. I think it was such a time of fear and anxiety for everyone that they still needed connection and movement, which is what our mission and who says the way you have to deliver that is in a room, physical room. You can deliver connection and positivity through other ways. So we pivoted super quick and we clearly communicated to our team, this is what we're going to do, this is who we are, this is what we stand for. If there's ever a time we're going to stand up and support people, it's right now. And how can we do that? So then we just brainstormed all the ways. So obviously we, live stream classes, but we did other things. If people were messaging saying, we haven't got dumbbells at home, we're like, right, be at the studio at this time, take the dumbbells, take the yoga mats, just gave as much as we could to support people. And it was kind of head down, bum up. And I think when we came up for air, we're like, oh, there's been all this growth. That was never a thought of like growing. It was more a thought of what can we do. And then, when we did pop up for air, we're like, wow, there's like 1,000 people a day doing these classes. And
well, Sarah was saying that she thinks, and correct me if we're wrong, that you were one of the first businesses in that space to get online and do what you needed to do. I mean, almost industry, first class, and then everybody else looked to Upstate and almost followed suit.
Yeah, look, we got on really early because we could see what was happening in the States. And Sherelle and I travel a lot to the US and connected with a lot of people in the fitness industry over there. And because they were a little bit ahead of where they were at, we could see studios starting to close in the US. So we just started actually, and members were starting to just be concerned, even though we're still open, they were worried about coming to the studio. Yeah. So we actually started live streaming the classes before things were shut down. So that just meant we'd worked out the technology, we'd got our instructors ready to go. So we'd already started doing it so that when it came to that point where studios closed and then we're like, what are we going to do? We were off and running. Yeah. And didn't skip a beat. We were offering, sort of at most of our locations like Torquay, 40 classes a week. And so we just straight away, we just were like, we've got 100 classes a week on live stream, let's go. and obviously people did need it. And, I think then we really worked out too that there was brands started coming to us because they needed ways to connect with their customer and community. So brands like Cotton On, Style Runner, The Iconic, Body and Soul, all these brands reached out and we started running classes for their audiences as well.
Wow, okay.
So, and this is where we realised, hang on, this is how we can give our team work to do in this time because we were running lots of classes for our members and our community, and then we did a lot with other brands, which obviously just lifted up our brand awareness and our profile. And that's where we probably then got a bit strategic in terms of, pre-COVID, in 2019 was our biggest year, our best year. We'd just signed a lease on a studio in Fitzroy pre-COVID that was going to be, our biggest studio, and we'd also committed to a lease in Geelong for another studio. So, we had huge risk. And so then we really started targeting brands that were located around Fitzroy to build relationship with them. So like T2 and other brands that were physically located near the studios, and started to work with them during COVID.
Yeah, right.
So that when we did open the doors, we'd built some community and built relationships with businesses nearby.
Yep. So in 2019... you were 3 studios.
I think we were 4. We had, Torquay, Melbourne, what do we have? Torquay, Balaclava, and 2 in Geelong.
And you're now 7.
That's right.
So the growth has been...
Ocean Grove is new.
And Ocean Grove just opened a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, so we'd actually opened Newtown in December of 2019.
That's the one I go to.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, look, when I can get up at 5:30
Actually,
in the
didn't
morning.
even know you went. That's something new.
I don't know.
And,
Not
and
enough.
as I said, we just signed 2 leases to open 2 more. So we had 3 in the pipeline pre-COVID, I guess. And then, now we're rolling out quite a few more this year.
Yeah, because you've got Ocean Grove just rolled out and you've got a few more on the agenda, don't you? You announced
Yes,
a couple more, haven't
we've
you?
just announced a new studio in Torquay.
Yes, another one. So you have 2 studios in Torquay.
Yes, we're opening up Reformer out there as well.
Will you keep the same one? Or
No, I will move into a new location.
And we'll close that one?
Yeah.
Yep, so you just have one big one.
Yeah, that's it. Ballarat. And we've got a couple more up our sleeve to announce.
Yeah,
How exciting. I
Just
love Reformer.
Australia, just Vic?
Yes, at
Just
this
Vic.
stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think your point of difference as well is you bring this amazing energy to your classes. Like when you're doing a reformer class, for anyone that hasn't done one at Upstate, it's loud music and it's a really pumped up instructor. And I mean, I'm sure there's all different types. The one that I do, I find myself going, oh my God, this is amazing, but I can't keep up because the instructor is incredible.
Yes.
But you bring this element and this energy that I haven't seen at other Pilates studios that I have been to. So it's a really amazing point of difference.
Yeah, and I think we do a lot of work with our team about our brand and our culture. To the degree where we have language that we use, language that we don't use. We've got a massive culture of feedbacks. Everyone who teaches for us goes through a mentoring and training program and then continuous ongoing feedback. So we do want that consistency in how the classes are delivered. And because it all ladders up to that mission of, creating a positive state of mind, being the best part of someone's day, it is all about all the positive words and how we talk to people, the language we use, is a big part of our brand.
Absolutely. So you, which is no secret anymore, Cotton On and Upstate, you guys have combined, which is one powerhouse meeting another powerhouse. Can you talk us through, I mean, without any details that can't be discussed, can you talk us through, I guess, how you found that alignment for any small businesses out there looking for that? And let's be honest, Cotton On is huge.
Absolutely.
How you started that process, and I mean, it's such an incredible feat.
Yeah, thank you. I guess for us, and probably was, back around 2018, 2019, we took time to think about where we wanted to go with the business. We both felt really strongly that we wanted to grow and expand. And our business, by the nature, it's opening studios, fitting them out, expensive equipment. They are really expensive per unit to open. And so hence why a lot of fitness businesses actually franchise, because it allows them to get the growth, but they've got franchisees funding the fit outs. So we looked into franchising as a way to grow, and after looking at that, we decided that wasn't for us, and partly that was really came down to two things, probably the brand and the people. Us, I guess, we're so passionate about the brand and the mission, and also about the people. Having come from working in corporate into fitness, I really got a shock when I landed in fitness to discover that it's a predominantly female, predominantly casual workforce, no career pathways. Landed on me really quickly. How are these young women getting loans? How are they taking sick leave? There's just none of these provisions. So Sherelle and I made it one of our values that we really want to create career pathways for women in fitness, particularly into either part-time or full-time employment. And the franchise pathway didn't allow for that. So then we came back to, it's corporate owned, so it's either us just doing as we're doing, growing one studio at a time, or looking for capital raise. And unfortunately globally, there's actually not many women founded or women led businesses that get capital. So we just started discussions, and we're pretty open people. We started just people that we knew, just started mentioning, we'd love to expand, we'd love to raise capital. And, fortunately for us in Geelong, it's a real community spirit here, and we had a lot of the Cotton On team coming to Upstate as members, including exec members. So, little whispers got around.
Just go over
plant
there
that seed of thought, and then we just started talking to them about it. So it was probably 18 months of conversation.
Yeah, it would be.
And it was a big decision for us. And the biggest thing, we needed to tick off those two things, the brand and the people and the culture. And once we found alignment in that, it sort of almost became a no-brainer, because we knew to be able to scale with Cotton On, with their footprint in the retail market, the doors and connections they could open, their experience, their mentoring, all of that was tick the box. So I think once we just found that alignment in them supporting our vision, our mission, and our people, our plan for people, it just then became, an easy decision. And, we're super excited. We feel like we're just kind of at the very beginning. It's taken, really the last 2 years of getting to know each other, getting to work out how we work together. And it kind of feels like the tip of the iceberg. We're really ready to move into growth mode.
Amazing. Oh my God, that's stratosphere level in my head. I'm like, what you can achieve now is, it was always amazing. And the fact that you've come from a foundation where it's your sister and I, you know, looking at that people movement and that strength you found after a tragedy, and to where you are now. I mean, that's a true story of amazing growth and finding yourself and just believing in your brand and bringing everybody along for that journey.
Yeah, no, it is amazing. And I say that, and sometimes I think, am I even talking about our business? You know, it's like, but, you know, I do think for people who are, you know, in a small business or thinking about how to scale, you know, when I look back at how we've got here and where we want to go, it is definitely that fierce passion for the mission of the business, and always want it to be, you know, we've never wanted to be the business about us.
Yeah.
We can speak to it, but it's just so much more than that.
Absolutely. Well, it starts from something that is, it's your heart, right? You did it because of a reason.
Yeah.
And that's always going to be with you, which
That's
I think
right.
is just such a foundation of a successful business, that there has to be
Something
that
bigger.
unbelievable passion. It's not just about remuneration. It's not just about the bottom line. It's
100%.
got to be so much more, which I think is why you have been so incredibly successful.
Yeah, and I think small business is hard. It's tough, you know, and so if you haven't, I think I would find it so hard to be in a business if I didn't have almost that greater purpose of the why behind it.
Yeah.
Because it is what gets you through the roller coaster of the ups and the downs and the challenges that, you know, come on the daily. When you can kind of just give yourself a moment to step back and see the bigger picture,
Yeah.
then just gives you the motivation to push through and keep going.
Oh, congratulations on such amazing success to this
thank
point.
you.
We want to talk to you about, because you are amazing, obviously, we want to talk to you about how you've balanced, you know, family and life. And I mean, I know, Sarah, a small business, I don't run a small business, but I can see that it's all encompassing. It sucks the life out of you, your sister and you know, children, family, life outside of work. How have you balanced that and kept your sanity?
Yeah, good question. Look,
Alcohol.
yeah, Sarah and I like wine. Yes,
As we do, we all do.
yeah. Like I do not strive for balance, and balance is just a word that I probably now don't even refer to. I think for me, and maybe it's from, you know, being a mum as well, I think that it's a question asked of women a lot, work-life balance. I don't really hear my husband getting asked about his work-life
So
balance.
true.
Never.
That is so true.
And I think it's such a loaded question for a lot of women because it makes them feel like they're either working or they're having life. And then when you're doing one or the other, if you are working, you're feeling a bit guilty about not being with the kids or whatever it might be. So for me, I don't strive for it at all. I just am like, I just want to live one big, happy life. It's full, bursting to the seams, it's messy, it's fun, it's happy, it's sad, it's like it's all the things, and it's mixed with work and life and family. But I don't try to balance it, you know, and I don't just think throughout my life I've never tried to balance it either. When there's times when I've worked really hard, there's times when I've leaned into being a mum, there's time when I've leaned into playing hard and travelling, and I just really just try to lean into what is needed of me in the moment.
yeah.
And some days that is working really long days. Some days that is going on a holiday with the family, you know, like,
Yeah.
so I try not to, have those compartments and just think life is full and it's messy and it's great, and how bloody lucky are we to get up every day and do the things that we love and have a family who are there to support us, and it's so not balanced. And that's okay.
Well, it's funny because my parents are always saying to me, you just live in the moment, which, you know,
Yes.
is a good thing to do. And I do. I don't
Yeah.
really think about, which is probably very stupid of me, but it sounds to me like you're quite similar, that you live in the moment
100%.
and you do what you need to do in that moment. You're not thinking what's going to happen next week, what's going to happen the week after. You're taking one day at a time,
Yeah.
which I think what you said before about men are never asked, how are you balancing, you know, your wife and the kids? And I've never heard someone say that. Like, that is so powerful. You're so correct in that statement.
Yeah, and I think that maybe it is the tragedy that we had early on as well. I just feel like life is precious and it is insanely short for some people.
Yeah.
And I don't overthink stuff. And perhaps that's what's moved Upstate forward, because I'm quite decisive and be in the moment and enjoy where I am in that moment, and can focus on whatever's going on in that moment and let everything else go. So yeah, totally. I'm very similar in terms of just living in the moment and not really overthinking things.
Yeah.
You've also, I'm going to be the devil's advocate.
Oh, here she goes. She's been the devil's advocate in every conversation.
Oh my God. No. Okay.
No pressure.
Wowzers. No, I just like, that's all amazing. But what happens, you know, it's all great living the moment and running those things. But what, like, it sounds like, you know, both you have that support network behind you to allow you to have that opportunity. So unless you have that kind of support network behind you to allow that, other, say, women who are talking about the moment in business may not have that support network from their partners or their family and things like that. So that would then cause a heartache to them to be able to start their business out. So what advice do you have for those people that maybe don't have that support and network behind them to have that balance? Yeah,
I mean, I think, look, you know, everyone's got such different circumstances, and, you know, I definitely have got a really supportive partner. I think that he's just really trying to prioritise what is the most important thing that you can do with your day, with your time, with your hours, and one foot in front of the other, because every little step forward is a step forward, even if it's the tiniest baby step. And, you know, certainly when I've had times where I've felt that I have, you know, a sense of overwhelm or how can I do this? There are so many things to be done. I just tell myself, just do one thing.
Yeah.
Do one thing today on that list that will move you a little bit forward.
Yeah.
And then I've done that, and then I'm on to the next thing. And then I'm doing that as well. And of course, totally hard when you've got so much on your plate. But I think trying not to like focus on everything, focus on what you can achieve
in that particular day.
Yeah.
And then don't look at the big picture, almost have the big picture in mind, but daily work on the smaller.
Yeah, because I think it is too overwhelming. Like if I really sat there and thought about everything I've got to get done in the week.
Oh, it'd freak you out,
I just don't know what I'd do.
Yeah. Yes, it's way better not to.
You know, so I think it's really just focusing on, you know, what is going to make the greatest impact and ticking that off and letting the other shit go.
Yeah, but it's almost...
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
But you've got to have the ability to... Sometimes I don't think you sometimes realise what you should be... Sometimes I think you do spend too much time focusing on something because it's emotionally connected to you that probably isn't where your time should be spent. So that can be difficult too. Like it's great to go spend your time on the stuff that's really important, but working out what is important, sometimes you don't actually really know until you spend the time on it.
I think it's really hard when you're a business leader, which you both are. If something is going on in your personal life, that's a really tough topic. How do you, you know, pull yourself back from that drama that's happening outside of work hours and then focus? And I think that's more to the point of what you're saying, Sarah. How do you, you know, how do you run a successful business if you've got something really big going on behind closed doors? I mean, everyone's still, they expect you to be a leader. You're coming in with a smile on your face. How are you managing a staff of 150 if you've got something big?
Yeah, and everyone has something big, you know, go on when you've been in business 13 years. So for sure, and I've been there in those times. You know, I'm a very transparent person. I think you've got to be transparent with your team. Gone are the days of like this, you know, the CEO or the boss, you know, is like coming in with it as a different person to work as they are at home. I think, you know, COVID kind of actually broke a bit of that down. Yeah. So I think transparency with your team is really important, and also just empowering your team. You know, if I've got a team of 150 people and things break down because I need to focus on something with my family, then I've not set my team up for success. You know, you have to build your team, empower your team. You've got to have people in your team who are ready to, that you're working with, mentoring and developing so that they've got it, you know. And I think that, you know, like at Upstate, we've got, I don't even know how many classes a week, you know, 600 classes a week. And, you know, I always describe it as curtains up, curtains down. It's like a live theatre production. You know, there's one instructor going in to, you know, put on a performance for 50 people in this class. But it's a team effort that's got that person to be there, whether it's, you know, everybody who's got everything going at the front desk. It's all the people that have worked together as a team. And we just can't be reliant upon one person, including me.
Yeah.
And we've all got to work as a team, and that's actually one of our values is team, because Upstate couldn't exist if we didn't all have each other's backs and work as a team, because it might only be one instructor in there instructing that class, but it's a whole lot of people in the background who have made that class happen. Yeah.
And they feel that, they probably feel I've got the team behind them. Like when they walk in that door, they know that if the music doesn't start or the heating stops or something happens, they know that if they call out for help and assistance.
Yeah, that's it.
They've got to have love and support behind them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd be really interested to hear how, I mean, it's such a well-oiled machine, but it's almost, I mean, it's 7 days a week Upstate, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how do you do those, team workshops and those team, I mean, from companies I've worked for, you go away and you do big conferences, but you can step aside because it's marketing and no one else needs to be around. You can't just close all doors to 7 studios.
Right. I think you guys would say something about that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, look, we only close on Christmas Day and Boxing Day. You're open every other day. So when we have had full team, it's in between classes, it's usually on a Sunday.
Okay.
But yeah, so we tend to do things more smaller team members, smaller groups.
Yeah,
because
you can't pull everyone out at the same time, can you? Yeah.
So, but online you can do a lot now, obviously.
Absolutely.
And I think that's been a game changer for us as well. Like, you really realise through COVID how much you could do and how much you could connect with your team online. So we use technology as much as we can to support our team. So Slack is is probably our most used tool
Slack.
in the business. Yeah. And we use that for everything, for just, we've got lots of channels in there for different communication, but, we have a Share the Good Vibes channel, which is all about just sharing all the reviews and feedback that comes up from members.
Yeah.
So we kind of use that as our tool to communicate with the whole team. And then it's, smaller groups of team members coming together for more purpose-driven outcomes, yeah.
Yep, amazing. So what can we... Have we got a timeline for what's next? Are we allowed to announce that or no?
Well, not, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, like a lot of the challenge with announcing things for studios is getting council permits and, so, yeah, look, we've definitely a couple of studios in Melbourne, I can say that much
Exciting.
this year. Yeah. And big studios as well. So that's really exciting for us.
So that's boxing, reformer.
And Matt.
And Matt.
Yeah, Matt classes, yes. And we have got another class style we're working on at the moment. So
I've been doing strength. That's been your newest at the moment.
That's our newest.
Cool.
The new one's coming.
And, yeah, we're working on a concept. I mean, and we take our time with, like, when they're big concepts. Yeah. So, like, boxing, we worked on that for nearly 18 months of, like, really perfecting the sequence down to, like, in this 30 seconds we're doing this. Yeah, so we're working on another concept at the minute, but it'll be a while before that's out there.
So can I ask a question? So back day dot.
Yep.
When, the worst happened with your brother and your father, your sister and you were like, we just got to go sweat it out. We're going to cry, sweat it out. At what point did you and your sister sit down and go, we can do this? Like, we can do this on our own?
Yeah, good question. It was, I think after I started doing yoga, I literally was walking down the street in Melbourne after work and I saw these girls with yoga mats wrapped under their arms and they headed up some dodgy stairs and I thought, I'm just going to follow them. I heard yoga's good for you. And I'm not good at the moment. My headspace is not good at all. So I toddled up these stairs and I'm sure the instructor tried to tell me, what was going to go on in this class. So I had no idea. I was stepping into a Bikram yoga class in 90 minutes, 40 degrees heat.
Oh, God. Amazing, though.
Yeah, but virtually in my trackies and
not dressed appropriately at all.
And no yoga mat. Yeah. Anyway, so I came out after class and I actually called my mum. I was like, I don't know what I just did, what just happened, but I didn't think about everything. I just, at the end, had this piece. So I just started going back and doing classes, and then I went and did the training. It was probably when I went and did the training because I did my yoga training in America.
Oh, wow.
And I'd been doing lots of other yoga at the time. This is 13 years ago. It was before, well, it was longer than that. It was 15 years ago. There was no Lululemon store in Melbourne at that stage or in Australia at that stage. So yoga was in its infancy and it was so hit and miss. Some places were like incense burning. There was just hippie all over the place. Yeah, it was really alternative. And I was trying to drag people along and they were like, Gail's really, what's she doing?
Yeah, she's got off the rails.
Namaste.
She's losing her mind. That's right. And when I went to the States, yoga was like, it was accessible. It was mainstream. It was Lululemon. Everyone was in their Lululemon gear. And I was like, oh, okay, this is actually like, completely different. And I think being from a marketing branding background, I just saw that opportunity of like making yoga accessible, taking away the stigma, a modern, accessible, friendly brand that was actually about how you're going to feel, not what you're going to do in the class.
Yeah.
And that's sort of where Upstate, the name came from, because it was all about an upstate of mind.
Yeah, great.
So it was kind of really through the training that had the concept, but I actually just thought that I would launch this with my sister and I'd go back to marketing, and didn't think I thought I'll have my kids and do this for a while and then get back into my marketing, and no, I loved it. And here we are.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, we talked to Alex Hamilton last week, and out of such tragedy can come such amazing success and strength, and and you are such a success story because it did stem off the back of something that was really crappy.
Yeah, I guess life-changing moments have such an impact, and they knock you to the ground.
Yeah.
And you have to think about, how the hell am I going to get up? And you see things differently, I think. And I guess it's with that sense of purpose then that you just realise how fragile life is and
charge forward.
Think, I want to make an impact. And it becomes, bigger than you.
Yeah. You are so inspiring. You're so inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing. Your classes are incredible. We are out of time.
Yes, we are way out of time. So
we could chat forever.
I know.
We could.
Thank you so much,
you
Gail.
so much,
Thank you.
Gail.
So
Good
much,
luck.
guys.
Good luck with the future.
Yeah.
Can't wait to watch this space.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks. Bye.